Hi everyone, so I have this Yadea KS5 electric scooter for a few days now. However, I realized some issues and problems, so let's get to it. So first thing, which I already mentioned in my full detail review video, which you should also watch that first, is that there are some major scratches here and there. You can see the metal part underneath the paint, which is quite disappointing because this scooter is supposed to be brand new. There are some more scratches over here. However, the box is also quite banged up, so not sure if it gets damaged during the shipping process or whether this is a used scooter. Anyway, the second issue is the rear disc brake. When I first opened the box, the rear disc brakes was rubbing the wheel pretty badly, so I have to spend like 10-15 minutes just to adjust that before I can ride this. And speaking of the brakes, the front drum brake is not very good. I mean, it's worse than the drum brakes on the 9-baud Max. So keep that in mind. It doesn't. You cannot use this alone for emergency braking. You have to use more of the rear disc brake or use both brakes at the same time. So the third issue is the handlebar over here. Not sure if you can see it over here, but the left handlebar, the rubber part, is normal size, but the one on the right is small size. It's a lot smaller. Not sure why that's the case. I mean, here's my hand. I mean, it's very small. I don't have big hands, but as you can see, if you have big hands, it will be a serious problem for you. Just keep that in mind. My thumb often hits the throttle all the times, and when you hit the pump or a pothole, it could, quite hurt your thumb a lot. I mean, and then also the this thing over here, the folding mechanism, it's wasting a lot of handlebar space. And I'm not a fan of this. I think the 9-baud Max also use this kind of folding mechanism, but I prefer the one on the high board, which there's a hook over here, which saves a lot of space. And then also the belt over here, my left hand sometimes hit this when I'm just trying to use the brake lever over here. So some like bad placements of stuff and accessories. And then the next issue or complaint is actually the range. So this one has a very big battery, even bigger than the G30 9-baud Max, the big one, which is surprising. However, the range is very disappointing. So I rode around 10 miles and it already used up half of the battery. And as you know, the bottom 10% of the battery is mostly unusable for most scooters. So I would imagine this scooter doesn't even go 20 miles of range. So maybe slightly lower than 20 miles, which is quite disappointing for a battery of this size. Because a 9-baud Max can reach a real world range of around 28 miles. And this one cannot even reach 20 miles, even with a bigger battery, so which is pretty disappointing. And then the next complaint is the charging time. This one, it takes around 8 hours to fully charge, which is, again, very, very long time. My first charge, I think it takes well over 7 hours, and it had like 23% when I first have this. So the 9-baud Max, I believe, only takes 6 hours to charge, and they have comparable battery sizes. This one is just slightly bigger, but it doesn't have fast charging. So that's another issue, and plus the low range, so it's not very efficient at all in terms of charging. So the next complaint is it doesn't have any zero start. So most scooter in this price range has zero start function. I mean, to some people it's not a big deal. Some people even consider a safety feature. But for me, I use zero start all the time. So if you come from a zero start scooter, this one could be quite annoying. I mean, I have to kickstart every time, and you have to kickstart it somewhere between 2 to 3 miles per hour, which is quite annoying. It doesn't start, especially if you're on a steep hill. And also this scooter is quite heavy, which is my next complaint or issue. This is a big, heavy scooter. It's bigger than the 9-baud Max. It's also heavier. It weighs 45 pounds. And it's pretty tall. I mean, it's good for you if you're a tall person, but if you're not a tall person, this is a little bit too tall. I mean, the handlebar. And definitely very heavy scooter at 45 pounds. And then the next issue is actually the stability issue. And I'm not sure if it's related to the stem. I don't know. But as you can see, this one has a square stem. I'm not sure. This is pretty rare. Not a lot of scooter has square handlebar. Most scooters have a circular handlebar. I didn't notice it at first, but anyway, again, not sure if this is related to that, but when it travel at top speed, it kind of wobble left and right for some reason. It doesn't happen in the high boy or the 9 baht max, but this might be just a minor complaint because it might depends on your stance or your driving style. And then the next complaint is the app. I mean, the app is completely useless for this one. You might as well just skip that. You need to scan the barcode on the menu, not on the scooter, even though there's a barcode over here, in order to, and then you have to register it, and then the app itself doesn't have any features. I mean, it has some features, but it doesn't even work. The only thing it works for me is that you can change the drive mode, but it's completely useless because I can easily change the drive mode on the display over here myself. I don't even need the app to do that. And then it has the cruise control function, but it doesn't work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And again, you can just, disable or enable it using the scooter itself. And then it can also let you turn on and turn off the lights, but again, it doesn't work for me from the app. So it's pretty a pointless app. And then the next issue is the display. So I mean, right now I'm indoors, so it's fine. It's bright enough. But if you go outdoor, this is actually not very bright. So a lot of times I cannot read the display at all. And then another issue is it doesn't show anything regarding cruise control. I use cruise control all the time, but it doesn't show you whether it's on or off. You just have to guess, and sometimes, you have to listen to the beep sound, but if you don't listen, you don't know whether it's on or off. So this is just a minor complaint. And then let's turn it off first. And then the next thing is the price. So if this scooter doesn't have any issue, I think $800. It's still kind of expensive, but at least it's kind of justified if it doesn't have any of the issue that I mentioned. However, with all these issues, especially the major scratches and so on, I don't think it's worth $800 anymore. And remember, this scooter, again, it doesn't come with the seat. The seat is just a 9 baht max seat, which happens to fit on here. It doesn't come with the scooter. This seat costs $100. So this is, still, this is slightly cheaper than the 9 baht max. But however, this one has a lot of issues so far after a few days of use. And then I just don't think it's worth $800. If it has discount, which is kind of rare, then maybe, But the Highboy S2 Pro and the Highboy KS4 Pro, which I have, is $200 cheaper than this. And the spec is not too far off. It's similar specs, but it doesn't have most of the issue that I mentioned before. And it's $200 cheaper than this. So in that regard, that would be my last complaint, is the price. So anyway, so far, it's pretty negative, I know, but there's some things that I like about this scooter, which I already mentioned in my full review video. Which would be the top speed, 22 miles. I like that, and also the front suspension is also very good. But other than those two, everything else is not as good as I expect. So anyway, this is just a disclaimer if you plan to buy this scooter. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.